This is S24, your first and only Zambian 24-hour news channel that continues to be at the source of your story. Votes closes Trump files suits across the country. Good morning. Welcome to S24's continued coverage of the U.S. elections. My name is Talum Kupa. Now, Republicans on Friday asked the U.S. Supreme Court to ensure county election officials in Pennsylvania were segregating mail ballots delivered after Election Day. On Friday evening, Justice Samuel A. Alito Jr., who received the petition because he is the justice responsible for that region, approved the GOP request for now, ordering county boards to comply with state guidance to keep the late ballots separate. However, Alito did not direct election officials to stop counting the ballots, as the Republicans had also sought. He called for a response from state officials by Saturday afternoon.
There is a specific segregated penned-off area for the Democratic watchers and the Republican watchers, so the claim from the Trump campaign and the president about that is not true. It is false. In fact, the lawyers for the Trump campaign last night in federal court admitted that. They indicated that there were at one point 19 Republican watchers in the room. So we're getting two different messages from the Trump campaign, one from the president, the other from his lawyers, who say that the Republican watchers have been in there. They're unhappy with the fact that they were 25 feet away. The federal judge said they've got to be 6 feet away. That's the issue.
In the early hours of today, former Vice President Joe Biden addressed the public for the first time on a long day of waiting as states continued counting outstanding ballots. He acknowledged the votes were still being tabulated, but expressed confidence he would soon be able to claim a win.
In fact, our lead just doubled in Nevada. We're on track to over 300 electoral college votes. And look at the national numbers. We're going to win this race with a clear majority of the nation behind us. We've gotten over 74 million votes. Let me repeat that, 74 million votes. That's more than any presidential ticket has ever gotten in the history of the United States of America. And our vote total is still growing. We're beating Donald Trump by over 4 million votes. And that's a margin that's still growing as well. One of the things I'm especially proud of is how well we've done across America. And we're going to be the first Democrat to win in Arizona in 24 years. We're going to be the first Democrat to win Georgia in 28 years. And we've rebuilt the blue wall in the middle of the country that crumbled just 4 years ago. Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, the heartland of this nation. I know watching these vote tallies on TV moves very slow, and as slow as it goes, it can be numbing. But never forget, the tallies aren't just numbers. They represent votes and voters, men and women who exercise their fundamental right to have their voice heard. And what's becoming clear each hour is that record number of Americans of all races, faiths, religions chose change over more of the same.
The speech came as he led in 4 states where the race has not yet been called: Arizona, 11 electoral votes, Nevada, 6, Georgia, 16, and Pennsylvania, 20. Georgia officials said Friday the state is headed to a recount of the ballots after the presidential race was deemed too close to call. Joe Biden overtook Donald Trump in Georgia, historically a Republican stronghold, at around 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to secure a lead of over 4,000 votes. Trump and Biden were locked in a tight contest on Friday, with the Democrat edging ahead to get the 270 electoral votes needed to win the presidency. For Trump, Georgia is a state he must win. But with such a razor-thin margin, Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, said ballots will undergo a recount.
With a margin that small, there will be a recount in Georgia. Interest in our election obviously goes far beyond Georgia's borders. The final tally in Georgia at this point has huge implications for the entire country. The stakes are high and our emotions are high, on all sides. We will not let those debates distract us from our work. We will get it right. And we'll defend the integrity of our elections. In some states, there are complaints about monitors not being allowed to watch the count. In Georgia, this process is and will remain open and transparent to monitors. If any member of the public raises legitimate concerns, we'll investigate those. We are committed to doing anything and everything to maintaining trust in our elections process for every Georgian, regardless of partisan preference.
As S24 is at the source of your story, we will continue to bring periodic updates on the U.S. elections. Remember, S24 is your first and only Zambian 24-hour news channel that continues to be at the source of your story. Have yourself a good morning.